Welcome back, Raider Nation and my champions. In this video, we're going to take a look at a wild week in free agency, who we've lost, who we've signed and retained, and what the starting lineups might look like. Now, I did make a video earlier in the week going into a little bit more detail of all the free agent signings we had, and if you want to take a look at that or you haven't yet, I'll put a link in the description below. Now here's a summary of the roster movements so far this offseason for noted players. Now I first want to go over the departures here, and in my original offseason video a couple months back, I talked about Tyrell Williams, LaMarcus Joyner, and Trent Brown going away from the team. Those all happened. These two were straight cuts. Trent Brown was actually traded back to the New England Patriots for a 2022 fifth round pick, and we threw in a 2022 seventh round pick and saved about $14 million in cap space doing that. I also mentioned in that offseason video that I thought one of the guards would go away, and it turned out that it was Gabe Jackson, as he was sent to the Seattle Seahawks for a fifth round pick. The shocker, obviously, was Rodney Hudson. The reports were initially that he was straight cut, and that didn't actually happen. We actually sent him to the Arizona Cardinals for this year's third round pick, and we threw in a seventh round pick, but we are also keeping $12 million of dead cap money. Ouch. And then some of the other ones, Nelly, it would have been nice to keep him, but he ended up getting $12 million with New England, so, bye. Eric Harris, no good. See you later. And Devontae Booker played decent for us. He ended up getting a 2-year, $5 million deal with the Giants. I do like Kenyon Drake better. I would consider that an upgrade. Obviously more money, but I think he's a better player, and we'll talk about him as far as when we get to the additions. As far as noted re-signings, we did technically cut Richie Incognito and then re-signed him. And that was actually 1 year, $2.6 million deal, so it's about half of what we were going to pay him. We brought Denzelle Good back, which I think is a good move, no pun intended. Not only with Gabe Jackson going away, but Trent Brown, he could possibly be the right tackle. We'll talk about that a little bit later as far as projections, as far as starters on offense and defense. Jonathan Hankins, this was kind of a bit of a head scratcher for me, to be honest with you. And not that I don't like Jonathan Hankins. I've talked about him in previous videos. He's a great run stuffer. It doesn't give us much, if anything, on the pass rush. He's a big kind of a body. I really thought he would have gone to a 3-4 defensive team and been their nose tackle, but he was retained. So we'll talk about that as well. Nicholas Morrow, solid outside linebacker. Doesn't give us the pass rush we need. Obviously, the whole defense doesn't give us much of a pass rush. We'll talk about that in the additions there. But good, solid player, solid tackler, good against the run. He's brought back, and we'll talk about what I think his role is going to be. And then we brought back some special team guys. Our kicker, our long snapper, retain them. As far as the additions, I'll just give a summary from the previous video. Yannick Ngakoue, obviously, is a shot in the arm in the pass rush. John Brown is our Nelly replacement. Quentin Jefferson, Solomon Thomas provide defensive tackle depth. Kenyon Drake is what I would say a true number 2 running back and can help spell Josh Jacobs, keep him from getting worn out. And then Nick Martin, he was added after the free agent video I made. He's formerly a center from the Houston Texans. They haven't released the details of his deal yet, and I'll show you where I think he's going to be in our offensive lineup, as well as the other additions here offensively and defensively. Let's first take a look at the offensive side of the ball here. I kept the color codes the same, so you can see the dark green. Those are our free agent additions, and the blue are the re-signings here. So this is how I see the offense being. Obviously, our special teams here, we've basically retained what we had from last season. The lineup and the offensive line, kind of the shakeup, I'm thinking Nick Martin's going to be our starting center with Andre James as the backup. Richie Incognito is going to fulfill his role in the left guard spot again. John Simpson, the rookie last year from Clemson, not Alabama. I think he's going to take over at right guard. And then as of now, I think Denzelle Good's going to be the right tackle. We haven't signed anybody. I mean, obviously that could change, but that's what I think. I hope Brandon Parker isn't here because he sucks. He's terrible. I would rather have Denzel Good here. Well, I'd actually rather have a free agent over here. So I've talked about that in previous videos. But as of now, I would prefer to have Denzel Good as our starting right tackle. John Brown lining up out here on the side, taking over the Nelly role. Ruggs on the other side. And then Renfro in the slot when we go 3 wide. And then Brian Edwards being plugged in back and forth. And then obviously Kenyon Drake backing up Josh Jacobs at running back. Now the defensive side I think is a little trickier now that we've re-signed Jonathan Hankins. I think he and Hurst will be the starting defensive tackles. And I put Yannick Ngakoue here at the outside linebacker spot with Klee and Max at the defensive end. Now this could very well be where Morrow retains his outside linebacker spot. Yannick comes in here at the end, and then one of these two guys takes the other end. I would prefer Max Crosby, obviously. I think we get more pass rush out of him. So it's going to be fluid. We'll know more as we get closer to the start of the season. And then the defensive tackle depth here, I just put them here. We also have David Irving. I didn't talk about him. We've had him last year. So I think 2 of those 3 guys will probably end up making the team and providing the depth here on the interior defensive line. Now, as far as nickel goes, obviously Marcus Joyner's gone. I penciled in Amik Robertson here at the nickel. We'll see what what happens with that. I think that would be a good fit for him. And then free safety. I know we have Jeff Heath. He did have a good game against Drew Lock in Denver last year, but I don't think he's the long-term answer. I'm still thinking we could either get Richard Sherman here, Malik Hooker, another free agent, so stay tuned here. So I still think that position's still up for grabs. So what do you think of the roster moves we made specifically for the past week? Do you think we're better, worse, or about the same? I'd like to hear what you have to say. Put your comments below. If you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching and supporting this channel, and as always, go Raiders.